Alright, on today's episode of Cooking with Chelsea, we are going to be making a vegan, gluten-free lentil stromboli loaf, whatever we want to call it. But basically something to be your entree at Thanksgiving, because I know being vegan, it can be a lot of sides and there can kind of be a bit of a struggle with an entree. So this Thanksgiving, we're not going to struggle with an entree, we're going to have an entree. First things that you are going to need is going to be some vegan pizza dough. And this is just a vegan pizza dough that I got at Sprouts. I'm sure you could find one at Publix, at Kroger, Whole Foods, whatever. So first thing you're gonna wanna do is let that thaw. So that's set out at room temperature for about 3 hours. And then next we're just going to go ahead and flour our surface, flour our hands. It's gonna push it right down. I always like to add some flour to my rolling pin because I think that really when you're working with dough, the more flour the better, because when the dough gets sticky is when you tend to run into issues with it just kind of falling apart. So now that we have this all nice and done, we're gonna go ahead and roll this out. Go ahead and switch directions. Now we got our dough all beautiful and laid out, and now we are going to take our mixture. So I made my mixture yesterday. I think that it really doesn't matter as long as it's not super hot when you're putting it in the dough. So what we're gonna do is just take the mixture and do a nice thin line right here in the center. Nice line right here. We have it all kind of stacked up in the center. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a pastry knife, or just a basic knife, something that's got a really thin tip. And we're just gonna go slices about 1 inch like this all the way down. And then we're gonna take those slices and crisscross across the dough. I have a pastry cutter, so I'm just gonna use my pastry cutter. So I'm just gonna... Now this is what it should be looking like. And then now we're gonna start with our ends, and we're just gonna tuck this and do like a little burrito fold. So you might have a little bit of extra dough here, and if you do, just go ahead and rip it off. And now the key to doing this is you need to make sure that you don't have any of the stromboli sticking out. You need to completely cover it, because if you don't, it's gonna expand in the oven, and when it expands in the oven, the stromboli is just gonna go everywhere. And you may have some extra dough, so right here I do, so I'm just gonna cut that, and then just kind of fold that over. And then if you want it to look even like prettier, you can just kind of like maybe connect some of the dough, kind of push it down. This is what it's looking like. So now we're gonna brush some olive oil and seasonings on it. A little mixture right here, and this is just some olive oil, salt, pepper, garlic, and onion powder. It's gonna give this a nice mix, and then we're just gonna baste this all the way down. Ooh, she is a beauty. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. To brush off this excess flour right here, and then I'm gonna transfer this right into the baking. This is the pan I'm using. Yes, it's extremely dirty, but that's what happens when you cook all the time. And so what this is a sheet pan, but it also has this rack right here. So I like to use this because it really helps the heat from underneath come up and kind of air fry in a bit of a way. So that's gonna help the bottom of this crust also get really crispy. So we're just gonna transfer this just super, super gently, just slide it right onto the pan. Just like this, and we're going to bake her at 375 for 20 minutes. Check on her and see how she's doing.